episode was an hour-long commercial for Tequila Mexico because I don't even drink, but they made this place look so amazing. I'm just like, I need to get my girls together and go do a little Tequila Mexico girls trip, because everything that they were doing, I was just like, I would love to do this, but with maybe a sparkling cider. So the Countess is a trooper. Mother got up the next morning after she was pissy drunk, falling down, not a bruise on her. And not only did she get up at the crack of dawn, she also got up and did yoga. I was just like, oh, Luann, I would love to know how you were back in the college days. I want to know the Countess Luann college stories, because mother can drink and it does not affect her. Bravo, Countess. Bravo. Ladies get up for breakfast and everybody's sitting down chatting or whatever, and then these beautiful flowers start coming in and everybody's just looking at Bethany, because they think that maybe one of the girls got Bethany these flowers for hosting this trip. But then they go to Tinsley and Tinsley's like, wait, why am I getting flowers? And she reads it and it's from Scott, and I'm really happy for her, because I feel like, no tea, no shade, but I feel like women like Tinsley needs a man. You know what I mean? I think there are some women who just need a man, and there are some women who desire a man, or it's just some women who don't desire a man at all, or humans. I'm not talking about bestiality, but they're asexual people who's I just don't want to be in a relationship. Anyway, I don't know how I got there, but I feel like with Tinsley, she requires that. She needs that man for that companionship. She needs that man for that protection. She needs that man for the financial security. So I feel like she's the type of woman who needs it. And I think that that's just how she was raised. You know what I mean? There are a lot of societies that do that, where you have a lot of girls going to prominent colleges, but not really going for any kind of major. You know what I mean? They major in humanities for 4 or 3 years, you know what I mean? But really it's just so they can find a wealthy husband or somebody, or some rich young guy from a wealthy family to get engaged to and get married to. And a lot of them don't even finish college, to be quite honest with you. So that's what I think is Tinsley's world, right? So I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she has that, because I think that's something that she just needs. I love Scott giving her the flowers. I loved her just being really giddy and just enjoying that moment, because she hasn't really had a lot of up moments on this show. So I was happy to see her in that space. And then she says, oh, Scott, my boyfriend sent me flowers. I'm like, boyfriend? How is he your boyfriend after 5 long dates? She moves so fast. And I feel like that's another thing that hinders Tinsley, because she's essentially only been with 2 guys. You know what I mean? She married her high school sweetheart, and then she gets out of a 10-year-long marriage with him, and then starts dating this other guy seriously. And then she latches on to Scott at this point, and now he's your boyfriend after 5 dates. And I'm like, Tinsley, you gotta back off, because I think she's looking for security so much that as soon as she sees a guy that she thinks is secure, she latches onto that and not really finding out if they're compatible, if this is somebody she could spend the rest of her life with. Security ain't everything. It's a huge part, you know what I mean? But it ain't everything. So Ramona is so delusional. She doesn't apologize to Bethany, but she wants to go on her Skinny Girl Tequila tour. And I'm like, you gotta apologize first, Ramona. How do you expect Bethany to invite you to an event that's huge for her business, and you have insulted her for the remainder of the episode? You know what I mean? For a majority of the episodes, she has insulted Bethany with some stuff that I was just like, ooh, that cut a little deep, Ramona. So I don't know why she's expecting to go on this trip, but again, it's delusional Ramona. She invited herself on this trip. You know what I mean? She was just like, oh, I don't care if it's your trip. I'm coming. I don't care what the storyline says. I'm making my way to this, and I'm not asking your permission. That's Ramona. Sonja's actions throughout this season has solidified for me that she is beyond jealous of Tinsley. Tinsley breathes and Sonja finds an issue with her. It doesn't take much for her to get upset. And I realize that Tinsley reminds Sonja of her heyday. You know what I mean? Of a time where she was, reigning like Queen Supreme. You know what I mean? It was a good time for her in her life. And now that everything is falling apart, she resents Tinsley for representing what she used to have. You know what I mean? Because now Tinsley doesn't need her place anymore. She's moving out. She has this new man, and it burns Sonja up because she wishes that, truth be told, she wishes that she could be that young again. She wishes that she could have that lifestyle. Maybe that age in particular was a time in her life when it was really good for her, and now everything is falling apart, and she can't put it on Ramona because Ramona won't take that from her. So she'll put it on a weaker castmate, and that's Tinsley, who will respond to her attacks and break down towards him. But any other woman she tried to give that to on the cast will give it right back to Sonja. So she won't do it to them, but she'll do it to Tinsley, who represents something that she can't get back. And it's so sad because it's just ugly when she does it. Like, she constantly berates her and just beats down on her. However, in this scene where she was like trying to come at Tinsley was just like really giving it back to her. She wasn't doing the whiny like baby girl voice. She was really just, you know, standing her ground, speaking her mind. She even raised her voice at her, but it wasn't the I was just like, oh wait, I didn't even know that Tinsley's voice sounded like that's her real voice. But she does this baby thing to like entice men, to make herself seem less intimidating. You know what I mean? Women, we do a lot of stuff like that. Like, we act really dainty and things like that, and we try to change how we walk and how we speak, especially when we're around men, because we don't want them we don't want the men to be intimidated by us if we have like a lower voice, or, you know, so we want them to think that we're very like soft and, you know, dainty and needs their help. So she plays that part up, that like childlike, I don't know what I'm doing little girl thing that the men that she's attracted to like, you know what I mean? But in this scene with Sonja, I felt like I saw the real Tinsley, and I wish she would have brought this girl out earlier, because I think that would solidify her for next season. But at this point in the game, I just don't see her coming back. Oh, so then the ladies go shopping, and can I tell you, this Mexico shopping scene got me drooling. If you have been with me from the beginning, you know that I love glitter and sequins, and but I especially love bright colors, and I love just how beautiful Mexico looked. Mexico was just so like colorful, like these bright, beautiful colors. Everywhere the ladies turned, it was just something beaming, and I was just drooling. The stores, this town, I gotta get to Tequila Mexico. Like, this place, I gotta get to Mexico, period. Like, I felt like this episode was like a really long Mexico tourism commercial, because I was drooling. Like, every scene, like the villa alone, and then we get to the shopping scene, and then Tequila Mexico later on in this episode. The sunsets, the food. I have to get to Mexico. So while the ladies are shopping, Ramona is trying to devise some type of plan, because she knows that she's not invited to this Tequila Mexico skinny girl tour or whatever. So she really wants to get on this tour. So what does our girl Ramona do? Because she knows that she can't apologize to Bethany, because every time Ramona tries to apologize to Bethany, she ends up insulting her 10 times more. So she does the thing that Ramona does best. She buys her friendship, okay? She starts buying like all these different items and giving them to Bethany. And to also get more favor from Bethany, she just makes herself the clown of the trip. So there's this beautiful dress that they were trying to make fun of, but I thought the dress was gorgeous. And Ramona put it on, and Bethany was getting a laugh, and she was basically buttering Bethany up. And she buttered Bethany up so much to the point where it just like sickened Dorinda. Dorinda was over it. She was just like, oh my goodness, all right. You know what I mean? Like, it's enough, you know? Like, it was just too much for Dorinda. But baby, can I tell you, Ramona was putting in the work. And I can see how it got on Dorinda's nerves. But Dorinda was invited on this trip, you know what I mean? Ramona had to put in the extra credit. So she's like buying all this stuff for Bethany, and then she sees this purse that she wants to get for herself. Then she's just like, you know what? I should get one for Bethany. And then the countess is there, and she's just like, I should get one for you as well. So she tries to buy the stuff, but apparently she doesn't have enough money. So then she asks Luann for the money, and then she's just like, oh, should I get you one? The countess is just like, yes, you should. With my money, you won't get me a purse. So then she just starts getting all the housewives that she can see, but she ends up not getting Dorinda one because she didn't see Dorinda. And Dorinda is just like, I feel like she just wanted to buy Bethany the purse, but because We were all there. She got us all the purse, so it didn't look like she was buttering Bethany up. She said at the end of the day, the other housewives just got a purse because she was trying to buy Bethany's friendship, and we just happened to be collateral damage, which is actually really true. Because I think if she wasn't like voicing what she was trying to do and Luann heard, I don't think she would have got the other girls the purse. I think she just would have bought herself a purse and Bethany a purse. But because she was voicing what she was trying to do, she didn't want to look like, you know, a flunky. But essentially, she did. Bravo, Ramona. It works. Bethany eventually invites Ramona on the trip. Like, she doesn't tell her yet, but she's just like, at this point, I don't want to be a mean person. I don't want to keep somebody away from something that's going to be really, really great. And I just don't want to have any bad blood. So I'm going to invite her on the trip, and all the ladies let out a sigh of relief. Because although they all don't get along, I don't think they're mean-hearted women. I think they're shady, and I think they do like conniving things to each other for a check. But I don't think to their core that they're evil people. So I think for a lot of the ladies, it was just a sigh of relief as well, because they just don't want everybody to be left out because they're in this journey together. So I thought that was very big of Bethany, and I thought it was a smart idea because at the end of the day, Ramona is good TV. Bringing her is good for the show. You know what I mean? It also may have been producer priding, because they were just like, you know what, Ramona is like, she's the wild card of the show. How can you not bring her on this trip, especially when there's going to be countless amounts of tequila? So then the article is finally posted about Tinsley in the Post. And again, I told y'all, I don't get how this post is so important, but apparently it is. It's important to Tinsley, and it's also something negative written about her. And I'm telling you, I thought that it wasn't a big deal until I saw Tinsley's face when she got the notification that the article had been posted. Like, guys, she just, like, the blood drained from her face, and it just, I immediately felt bad, because although I didn't think that it was a big deal, it was a big deal to her, and she just felt some sort of way. And I guess this, with this post or whatever, it just gets around that community, and so they all talk, you know what I mean? And I guess she just didn't want people talking about her negatively in her circles, right? Totally understand. She tries to talk to Sonja about it, who is very defensive. And I'm Team Tinsley on this issue, because Sonja could have killed the article. She could have. Her or Ramona, you know what I mean? Like, but Sonja specifically, because her name is in it. And it was written about her. So Sonja could have easily called and said, this isn't true, don't post it or whatever. And she didn't. Sonja likes to be in the post. She likes having people talk about her, whether it's good or bad. Tinsley doesn't, you know what I mean? And if you're her friend, you could have killed it. And the fact that she didn't kill that story lets me know that Sonja wouldn't kill the story, because Sonja is the story. You can't kill your source when you are the source. That's the problem. So that solidified to me that Sonja was the one who posted that, because she was so defensive about it, and she wouldn't call and kill the story. I didn't even know that you could do that until Tinsley mentioned it, and I'm just like, Sonja, why wouldn't you even try? Why wouldn't you even make an effort to salvage this relationship? Question: did Ramona go and get some new boobs when she got this chemical pill? Because mother's titties are sitting, and I don't ever remember her being so like busty. Like, Ramona's boobs are like huge. Before I was just like, oh, maybe it's just the bathing suit that she has, but it's like in every outfit. Even this tank top that she had on, the girls were just like up here, and they were so huge. And I was just like, Ramona, did you get a little touch up and a little puff up? Hey, I ain't hating, girl. Do what you gotta do. So anyway, the ladies eventually, after all this Tinsley and Sonja stuff dies down, they actually end up having a really great dinner. Dorinda gives them out funny gifts, and it just really brings a lightheartedness to the group that hasn't been there for a minute. And then when they get back to the villa, Bethany kills all of that. She confronts Ramona out of the blue and gives her like this backhanded invite. It's like, I want you to come, but this is very important to me, so I don't want you being you. I don't want you being nasty. I don't want you tearing this down for me or messing this up for me, because it's very important. And all of these emotions and crying. And listen, if you want the girl to go, invite her. Don't tear her down while you're inviting her. And I hate when people do that, because she knows that Ramona wants to go. She knows this because Ramona spent like over $200 on Bethany. She got her that dress, and she got her that $62 purse. You know what I mean? So she already knows that the girl really wants to go on the trip. So you don't have to also demean her in the invite. I feel like they have issues, but that moment did not call for it. All that unloading that she did on her, and Ramona is just taking it because I don't think it's because Ramona is sorry. It's because Ramona is calculating and she wants to go on this trip. So she's not going to say anything because she doesn't want to mess it up because she knows the trip is the following morning. So she's just like, okay, sure. She's just taking everything, and I don't agree with it. But Ramona's not going to say she doesn't agree with it. She's probably going to say something about it after they come back. You know what I mean? Like, or a day or so later, or when they get back into New York, because she really wants to go on this trip. But I just felt like Bethany was wrong in that, to just dump on Ramona and then and only do it because you're inviting her and you know you have that power over her. I hate that, because that is what Sonja does to Tinsley. When you have somebody who either wants something or needs something from you, there are certain people who manipulate that and use that to abuse people. And I felt like that's what Bethany was doing to Ramona, and I just didn't like it. So this tequila tour, and I looked it up, it's a real thing. Guys, I am going on this tequila tour. I'm bringing some of my drunkest friends, and I'm going to let them go and have a great time. I'm probably going to be there taking pictures, so check my Instagram when I go on this trip, because they made this trip look so amazing that I'm just like, I cannot not go to this. You know what I mean? Like, I already told you, every restaurant that they go to in New York, I added to my Yelp list, because I'm just like, I have to go to that restaurant. Because I picked the most fabulous restaurants for the show, and with me being the fabulous woman that I am, I need to go and investigate it for myself. So I am definitely going on this tequila tour trip. Aside from that, I was really, really proud of Bethany, because if you've watched this from the beginning, Homegirl has been hustling Skinny Girl for a long time. Back in the day when she was at markets handing out samples, of her Skinny Girl margaritas or cocktails or whatever. So to see her 10 or 11 or 12 years later and to be in this position, I couldn't be more proud of her. I couldn't be more proud of her. And she was actually like tearing up, because it was a huge deal for her. They get in this nice helicopter. They're greeted by all of this beautiful culture. After they have like this whole little cultural demonstration, they're greeted with Skinny Girl margaritas and Tequila Mexico. Is it tequila? Is tequila in the margarita? I don't drink. Anyway, I just thought that was just so awesome, and I was very, very proud of her, because I remember the first episode, you know what I mean, and how she was the brokest one, and they dumped on her because she didn't have the money and she didn't have the status. But look at you now, baby. Despite her attitude, I'll give you that. She has become very, very pompous since she's gotten this status, and I just hope that she won't get knocked down a few tiers, because she's worked so hard to get there. But listen, pride comes before the fall, so I'm hoping she gets it together. All that aside, I was just very, very proud of her and very happy to see her, like, her dreams fulfilled, you know? Now I finally see why the ladies call Countess fake every season, because there's this scene where they're doing this whole tequila tour. This tequila tour, they're basically seeing how tequila is made, and they're going to be testing out all of these tequilas. It's basically like a wine tour. If you ever been on a wine tour, it's essentially kind of the same thing, but it's just focusing on tequila, and it's focusing on the culture and just all of the things used to bring that together, and just a whole history on tequila. So anyway, they're drinking out of these horns, and then off camera, the Countess says, "Oh, you could do a lot with this horn." And then Carol was just like, "Oh, you mean like a butt plug?" And Countess was about to say something. She was about to say something nasty, but she caught the camera, who like in that moment caught her about to say something. And when she caught the camera watching her, she was just like, and she stopped what she was going to say. But Carol kept on going on with the conversation. So I realized that they all know a different Countess off camera than they do when the cameras are rolling, and that's what they don't like about her, and that's why they come at her so hard, because who she presents to us on this show is not actually who the ladies know. And I honestly get that, but who doesn't give a representation when you're presenting yourself to the world? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a trait that everybody has, to just be open and honest with strangers. You know what I mean? Like, hello, not everybody can be me. Tequila tasting is supposed to be just that, a tasting. However, the ladies are down in these tequilas. And I thought that you just taste it, or maybe take a sip of it, or, take a gulp, swiggle it in your mouth or whatever and spit it out. But they are taking a full glass and drinking it. Then they're taking the tequila sample and mixing it with the other tequila that they get. I was like, these ladies are getting lit. So by the time they reach the villa, they are high out of their minds on tequila. So they go back to the villa, and I'm telling y'all, they are like lit out of their minds. But it's good to just see them like having fun and being happy. Bethany's dancing on a table, you know what I mean? Sonja is trying to like French kiss the countess, and Dorinda is like swinging on, they have like this rope swing over the pool, and so everybody is on it and, you know, jumping into the water. Dorinda gets on it, and it's like two huge knots. She misses the first knot that she's supposed to jump on, and she falls down, and she hits like the largest knot, crotch forward, like her crotch just pounded. You could hear it. It just pounded, and I just yelped. But Dorinda didn't have a reaction, so I'm just like, oh, she's probably drunk out of her mind to not feel that hard, not banging your bare vagina, child. So with all that fun, you know, there's always one drunk that's a depressing drunk, and that is Sonja. So Ramona is just sitting there, chemical peel and all. She's, you know, had this huge hat on. She's catching some sun rays. Bethany, you know, and her are having a little nice moment. All the ladies are really just having a good time, but Sonja, the killer, just hit her so hard. She's out of her mind. She's crying over Mario. She's telling Ramona how hot he used to be, and she remembers when he had this six-pack and he was wearing skinny jeans, and she should have known then that he was cheating. And I'm just like, see, this is the thing with Sonja and Ramona. I don't think that they're really friends. I think that they are acquaintances of convenience. You know what I mean? I think it's like how when Mean Girl cliques form, none of them are really friends, but they have like sort of the same ideas or the same goals to like click up and to make others uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's when Sonja and Ramona are the strongest, when either one of them is on the outs with the girls or both of them are. But now that Ramona is kind of working on things with Bethany, she's not on the outs anymore. So her and Sonja's friendship is not as strong anymore because now she's kind of essentially back in, right? So Sonja is just going in on her, and Ramona's just like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, let's stop talking about it. And even Bethany is defending Ramona, and she's just like, Sonja, stop. Like, why do you keep on bringing up her relationship? And Sonja's just like, I want you to admit that you're not happy. And then she goes back to how hot Mario is, and I'm just like, Sonja, let me find out that you're another side chick for Mario. So that's where the episode ends, but baby, next week is going to be good. We get drunk Dorinda, my girl, we get an even drunker Sonja, and we get a stabbing. I don't know how that happens, but I cannot wait to see it. So if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you for the following episode of The Real Housewives of New York. Bye, guys.